But he comes out to the rec deck. He's like, Maddie, you know, your boy's coming down. You should throw him a piece because he's gonna need it, bro. Dudes are over here trying to kill his dude. So I'm like, all right, bro. I send over a banger, a kite for him with some Sobo in it and some deuce and shit for him to take back to the hole when this all happens. You had the heavy hitters from their squad, the CW squad, come over to the door and tell him like, look, bro, you know we're gonna kill you, bro, right? So I'd like to say firsthand, Jay Williams, let's live life and we're back, is free. Congratulations to you. Don't know if you'll ever see this or not, but you got a dope channel, bro. Just gonna keep it at that, man. Just wanted to say congratulations, bro. It's great to have another brother free out of the joint where they can experience and live life at their fullest. I know you're gonna have some great new stories to tell people. So congratulations, brother. Boom, this is the street view, man. This is the studio, the red studio, my favorite studio. The prerequisite to war, part 2. This is probably one of the most intense periods of time for white people in the max, other than the Southie Charlestown beef. The Southie Charlestown beef was on a whole nother level. I feel like the caliber of people on both sides was much higher. So the stakes were always much higher in that war compared to this one. But it's always a sad day when two sets of good white dudes get into a beef. Now, a lot of people are condemning the fact that I'm putting the C-dubs on here, right? Let me just clarify that every single person I talk about, I have talked to. And I would say anything I say here to someone's face, right? For anybody who doesn't know me, you're nobody, right? And if you don't know me and you're probably not on here throwing your 2 cents in a comment box. Just saying, right? Regardless, right? I am not on here to slander anybody. A lot of these guys are my friends. I am detailing a part of my life. I am merely explaining what my life was like inside a prison. Something, just a period of time that I went through within the walls. Now, as far as rehabilitation and restoration go, on my channel, it is always about that, regardless if it seems like it or not. Because nobody can benefit from hiding truth about what's going on inside a prison and how it really is inside of it. If we don't speak on what's really going on inside a prison, and not in an information type of way for the cops, I'm saying, like, if we don't speak on it for each other, on what we're going through inside of there, it benefits nobody behind those walls, and nobody who's ever got out from behind those walls, or anybody who might go behind those walls if they don't hear the stories that I'm telling them and think twice about their actions. With that being said, let me get into my story, right? So I had mentioned at the end of my last video that I had went out to the rec deck and told the president to suck my dick. Following that, I went back to my block. At this time period in P1, my brother wasn't down there yet. I was still very mad, and I had just found out he became a C-dub. When I was in Poppin, he was going back to DDU. The word that I got was that some of his people were telling my brother that he didn't need his family anymore, that they only needed him, and they were meddling in business they should not have been meddling in. This made me extremely mad. So yes, I did force a situation that was already brimming at the time. Did it need to happen? No. But would it have happened anyway? Most likely. Because the things they were doing didn't meet the criteria for good movement inside a prison. They were not moving right. If you don't move right inside a prison, you will find out very quickly what you're doing wrong in a bad way. You're going to get hurt. The difference between moving wrong out here and moving wrong in there is that you're going to be around and seeing the people you're moving wrong around every day, all day. Out here, you could just leave and go somewhere else, give people time to cool off. There is no time, there is no such thing, and there is no such thing as taking shorts and letting things slide. So no, you don't have mistakes to be made. You cannot make mistakes behind the wall. You have to move right all the time. One little mistake could ruin not only your reputation, but also could get you hurt or killed. You have to be extremely careful with your steps. That's why people inside prison are always thinking about what they do before they do it and what they say before they say it. You can't just go off speaking all willy-nilly. You have to think about what you say and who you say it to. Because you could also say something to the wrong person. You're either going to get told on or it's going to get back to somebody that you don't want to get back to. And in that case, I always say, just don't talk about someone who's not there. Right? If you're going to talk about someone who's not there, you better be willing to say it to their face because most likely they're going to find out. And if they don't confront you on it, then they're just a pussy in it anyways, right? But just to be on the safe side, just don't talk about people that ain't there, right? Or you wouldn't say it to their face, like in the comment section, right? If you wouldn't say it to my face and you don't see yourself truly stepping up to my face and saying what you are going to say, don't say it, right? Because number one, you don't know me, bro. You weren't in prison with me, and the people who were would know that you wouldn't say it to my face. Unless you just didn't know, and you might be too stupid to say it. And in that case, God bless you, right? But I'm not about that no more, bro, right? I'm likely to let things slide because I have to. My life is at stake, bro. And prison is no joy to be in, right? So this is the situation, right? Ryan's going to DDU. He becomes a C-dub, and I find out. So now I'm pressing it. Every time I see a C-dub, I talk shit to him, and I'm starting to wait outside in the hallway with a broomstick. They gave me a hallway job, right? They gave me a job to shut me up and allowed me to go out in the hallway sometimes to sweep. So I'm making my little moves and shit out there, I go back and forth from my block to their block with money to get stuff that's over there to bring it over here and whatnot, because that's just how the prison grind goes. You're always making moves, you're staying on the grind, you gotta get high, you gotta make money, you gotta eat, and you want to pass the time, right? So that's what I was doing. But instead of out there working, I was out there with the broomstick twisted off. And I'm just pushing the broom around so that I can pull it out like this any second. And boom. So I know it's about time for insulin. And around insulin every day, I go out there and I'm waiting in the right behind the corner, the divide, waiting for somebody to pop out and that door to open so I can just run in that block. Knowing damn well that once I get in there, it's gonna be a fight because there's a bunch of solid C-dubs in there. But that's the way it goes. Is I could only respect what I feared, and I did not fear them. So I was ready to run in that block, and I thought that I could win. Would I have? Probably not. Thinking back on it, with the dudes that they had, no. But they had a squad in there, right? They were squad up. They just had a bunch of dudes come from the county. Let's just say T, M, both of them got shipped out of state. And then you got a dude that's out here, PT. Well, I'll tell you his story as part of this whole story. But these dudes were actual hitters, bro. And they had that block on smash. It's just what they were using their people for. It wasn't guided in the interest of structured, disciplined prison movement. It was all to make drugs to do for the day or move on their own people so that they could give their own people other ones that they're getting down laces. And laces, I mean, that if you once you get down with the C-dubs, you get a black lace and a white lace. And that's what signifies you as a C-dub. This is something that is also very well known. That's why the administration doesn't allow them to wear the one black and one white lace anymore. And they do something else. But that's what it means, right? So that did mean before they stopped doing it and changed it that they were in alliance with the GDs in the county. So these two gangs, they clicked up. They're in the county. And when they came upstate, the C-dubs upstate started aligning with another gang up there. So that the dudes in the county kind of felt a certain type of way, I think, about that situation from what I hear. And I heard it a lot, so I'm pretty sure it's true. Dudes didn't feel that. There was certain ones that went to the south side that didn't fuck with these dudes and didn't want that movement going on, but they did it. And I can say that it was beneficial to them in a big way, right? And it was way more beneficial than the dudes they were messing with. So my brother's still in DDU. I'm in N1. Things are starting to heat up, right? My boy Kenny, they're telling him he's coming out of the hole. So they move him over to P1, knowing that he's a BOYO and that there's 15 C-dubs over there. The administration knows we are bumping heads, right? They took me off the hallway job and randomly said that they were worried about them jumping me. So don't you worry about me, bro. I'm like, that's the first time in my life any of you guys been worried about me. All of a sudden, now you're worried about them? Come on, dude. Right? I'm pretty sure it was the other way around, right? Because they probably, I don't know if they got, reports from people in that unit that I was sitting outside waiting to, I don't know, right? But I'm assuming that's what it had to have been, bro, because they just pulled me off. I was thinking maybe it was the other guy who got the job, might have told on me or something like that. But anyways, right? So they're moving Kenny down into P1. The block's locked down because there was a fight with the COs the night before. When Kenny gets down to the block, we're all out in the yard. Kenny comes to the window and we're talking to Kenny from the window and he's like, yo, we're locked down. As soon as the doors crack, going in. Shout out to Kenny, bro. Soldier. Just gonna say that, right? They move him down there, knowing what he's facing. He goes down. Now he could have refused the movement and been a PC or been scared and just made some excuse. People probably would have bought it down the line, but he didn't. He went down there like the warrior is. And now I'm not saying that doing what you're supposed to deserves a pat in the back, but it definitely deserves respect. So he goes down there. They're locked in. Normally they let out 4 cells at a time. He's waiting for the 4 cells to open. He doesn't know if there's a C-dub in his sector. I don't know either. So I just tell him, look, man, wait till the doors crack for good. If not, if there's one in your sector, get him, bro, while you're alone and they're alone. He's like, yeah. Now, I'm not giving him orders. I'm just trying to, give him guidance so that he doesn't do something to get himself hurt, right? Because there is no orders. We're not telling each other what to do. Randomly, I go down to one of the C-dub cells that I know he's from my area, and I start talking mad shit to him. Like, yo, watch, bro, watch, right? He's like, yeah, whatever, bro. All talk. I'm like, all right, bro, you'll see. So I go down back to Kenny's cell and I'm like, whatever, fucking, yeah, right? He's laughing, bro. We're all laughing, man. There's no telling what's going to happen when the doors crack, bro. No telling what's going to happen. Now, to be clear, I have, like I said, no pull when it comes to you do this, you do that, bro, with my people, bro. We just do whatever we want. And it's always going to be in line with what we want for each other. So he's going to do whatever he does, regardless of anything that I suggest or that I say. It's just, we're just bantering. You know what I mean? Just talking shit, A freak of nature accident happens, right? They open up all the doors in the flats. Now, I don't know if it was the cops setting Kenny up, but it just so happens that this has never happened before. And they just moved him down there. So as soon as the doors crack, Kenny beelines it right down his kid's cell. So, yo, what's up? Kid's like, yo, what's up? He's like, yeah, C-Dub. Now, they all knew he was coming down. He's like, yeah, I'm C-Dub. Kenny's like, boom, hooks off, bro, right? Goes in, they start fighting, dude, right? Kenny's on 4. There's a 4-on-1. They're jumping Kenny. Now, at some point, the curtain for the cell gets wrapped around Kenny's head. He can't see, and he's swinging for the hilts, and they're jumping. Bro, everybody's out in the yard cheering him on. Go, Kenny, yeah, They freeze it up. They're all getting locked back in. Kenny's getting taken up to the hole. We're all proud brothers, and they're salty now. I feel like even though they won the fight, that was still a dub for us because it was such a warrior move, bro. He went right to the cells that they were at. You know what I mean? He didn't wait for them to come to him. Walked right down there. They were still in their cell, didn't even come out to meet him. And that's why I say there was certain calibers of these dudes, bro. They were like on the high side, you had all the high caliber, and then on the low side, which was got open, you had like I don't know. I wouldn't call them high caliber, bro. One night, I'm talking to my mom on the phone. This is all going on. We're in the midst of all this shit happening. I'm cellies with my boy Garrett. God rest his soul. This is my brother who I said was my best friend, and I love him, and I miss him, and I remember you, bro. And I still remember you, and I'm always going to shout you out, always show you big love, bro. So he comes out on the tier, and we're out for rec. he loves to smoke deuce. He was the funniest dude. He would take a hit and then pull his woolly his wool cap on, pull the woolly mammoth over him, and sleep with the door open and anything. And he knew I had his back. I was out there on the tier riding for him, so he didn't have nothing to worry about like that. I mean, you always do, but you know, he was so funny. But like, he would get spaced out, like dusted on this shit, bro. So I'm on the phone talking to my mom, and I hear a smash. I turn around and there's a big crowd of people and they're all laughing and shit like that. And I'm like, what are they laughing about? You know? And I didn't think anything of it. I thought someone must have dropped a cup of coffee or something like that. A little loud, but like again, I was paying attention to my phone call. Next thing I know, I'm hearing freeze all movements, secure all airways and intercoms, and I'm noticing like more things happening than usual. So I would start looking around, like, what the hell is going on? So I look behind me. Garrett's fighting this kid. We call him Hands because he murdered a bum and had the dude, he was walking around with the guy's cut off hand at a party, allegedly walking around like this, shaking people's hand with the dead guy's hand and like putting it in the cooler. So when you open the cooler, people see a dead hand, think it's a joke or something. I don't know what he got out of it, but yeah, allegedly this is what happened with him. He's in prison for the rest of his life for it. So, you know, not that the justice system's always right. Rarely ever are, as a matter of fact. Um, so he's fighting this dude, right? And I'm like, come on, bro, right? So I'm like, yeah, mom, gotta go hang up the phone. And I run over, dude, right now. He's on his back, looking at the stars, God. I have no idea, but he's totally spaced, right? Not even like aware that he's getting punched in the face, right? And he's looking up at the sky, and I'm like, Garrett, what do you want me to do, bro? What are you doing? And I'm not knowing what's going on yet, dude, right? So this kid's on top and punching him, and I'm like, son of a bitch, right? He wouldn't answer me, so I just started. I kneed the kid in the head a few times, blasting him, picked him up, pile drived him on the ground, smashed him out. And then the kid curled up in a ball on the floor. So I'm like, one of us got to take one for the team. So I grabbed the kid up and I put him in a dope fiend so that Garrett could punch him. And I'm looking, I pick him up, and I'm like fully expecting Garrett to start lighting him. And I'm like, nobody around. Like, what the fuck? So I'm holding this kid. The kid's like, right? I'm like, Garrett, hit this kid, right? I don't know where he went, right? And he didn't know where to be found, right? So I'm like, what the fuck? So I just let the kid go. The kid does the weirdest little run away from me, dude. It was the funniest thing I ever seen in my life, right? Then all of a sudden, Garrett comes flying out of a crowd of people, looked like he'd been on the ground somewhere, and starts running after him, and then trips and falls, and gets up and keeps chasing him until the cops come in and like stop this crazy situation. That is what happened. And now I'm going to the hole with half a tattoo on my neck, the other half not done. I didn't think about the DDU thing, tell you the truth, because I didn't even realize, I wasn't even cognizant of the fact I was kneeing him. I was just trying to protect my friend from getting beat up. I at first didn't even get seen by the cops. Like, I don't even know if they knew I was involved at first. I know that the cops in the block seen it, but those two cops were mad cool. They wrote me a regular fight ticket, even though they seen the knees. And they knew me, they knew everybody. So they were like, they were cool. You know what I mean? They fuck with us. So they didn't write me up like that yet, and they didn't alert anybody to it. I think they just ran the camera back real quick and see me in there, or must have heard it from one of the cops. Must have said like, Tom and him was in it too or something, because like obviously they would have to, because I was in the middle of the tier, and like they would look really crazy if they just let me slide on it, I guess. But I'm in my cell at that point, and I had bought 8 stamps and a half a strip of Suboxone so I could watch Frontline on Afghanistan that night. And I was really looking forward to watching Frontline on Afghanistan that night. So turns out I wasn't going to be watching Frontline on Afghanistan. So I tucked everything and I'm on my way to the hole. They come to get me, cuff me up, take me up to the hole. And I'm sitting up there and booking until 1 o'clock in the morning until they move me over into Garrett's cell where Selly's in the hole. When I got in there, I said, Garrett, bro, what the fuck, bro? And he's like, oh, man, I'm like, what are you thinking, dude? Right? And he's like, oh, he's like, I was gonna take his fan, and then his celly started telling him, "Why are you gonna let him take his fan?" and all this other stuff. And the kid tried to take it back from me, so I swung it. I tried to hit him with it, and I missed. And I'm like, "Where were you, bro? I was looking for you. I had him in a dope fiend. I was gonna have you punch him." He's like, "I was looking for the fan motor on the floor. I was gonna hit him with the fan motor." I'm like, "Garrett, you're fucking fried, bro." He was like, "I'm sorry, Maddie." He was like, "I was just so high, dude. I didn't even know where I was." I'm like, "Yeah, no shit, huh?" I guess he smacked the kid in the face at the table, and as the kid's head bounced off the table, Garrett went in his cell, took the fan, and tried to walk away with it. And that's when that all happened, right? Anyways, this is in the midst of all this stuff is going on, right? So I come out of the hole, and I'm in N1. This is why that's important, because I'm in N1. Garrett is in the hole still. They keep him up there. I go back to N1. And a kid that I had been messing with over there just got jumped the night before. I get down, I get my neck tat finished, and I'm doing everything I'm doing. I'm hustling and doing all that shit. So I'm making my money, and I'm preparing for when the doors crack and getting all my weapons that I had and all that shit, so I could have them when I come out. Because when you get before I got lugged, I was actually able to get to my cell and pass them off to my neighbors and shit. So I grabbed those back, did all my shit, and I was actually gonna move on the dudes who moved on my boy the night before, because some of them were still in the block. They just watched the cameras and came and took them all out, I guess, right? So I didn't even know what happened yet, because when I was coming out of the hole, I guess it was happening while I was in the cell, the tank, waiting to come down out of the hole. And the next morning, they all got taken out, and then we got taken off lockdown. So I come out, and Garrett, like a week later, comes down and goes to L1 or M1, sorry, M1. M1's the orientation unit, which is the Battlegrounds. That's where, if you're going to see anybody, it's going to be in M1. That's where the Southie Charlestown dudes bump into each other, or the BOYOs and Southie dudes, I should say. And that's where now the C-Dubs and the BOYOs are bumping into each other. Two big fights happen in M1. This one that I'm going to tell you about was between my boy, God rest their souls, right? I think actually 3 of them are dead now. Wow. 3 of my friends, good friends, murdered in ODs. Man, what a life, right? So my boy, Duffy, God bless his soul, bro. I miss you, and I remember you, bro. I remember you too. You're my remember for this video. I love you, bro. You got down with our people because of me. And I love you, bro. I will never forget you, bro. I remember the day you got BOYO tattooed on you, and I had the dude tattooed on you. It was my motor, all that. He said, "Maddie, I'm down. I want to ride for the team, bro." I had been with the kid for a long time. He'd been putting in work, fucking showing serious love, and I just really like the kid, man. He's just one of a kind, loyal person, bro. And so I made him a part of the team, and now he's gone. But so this is the type of thing this guy would do, right? So Garrett Duffy, actually, I'll mention another one, Ronnie Canberra. I love you, bro. Ronnie, Garrett Duffy, another dude that I'm not gonna mention because I don't talk to him and I don't know if he wants to be in here. So they're telling me, bro, Garrett just got out of the hole, so he's calling over to me asking me for a banger. He's calling over, asking me for this, that, and the other thing, telling me who's over there and what he's gonna do that night. And he's writing me kites like, "Manny, bro, the only person whose opinion I respect is yours, blah, blah, blah." I told him, man, just do what you gotta do, and don't listen to anybody. Just listen to your gut. Your gut will tell you what you need to do. He knew he had to do it because we had been going through all this shit. Nobody wants to go right back to the hole when they come out of the hole. But he was one of the main voices again for going into this war. So he knew like he couldn't live down there with them without making it look bad on him. So like he asked me what my opinion was. I said, I think it would look really bad if you lived with them, Garrett. I don't think you should, not to mention that they're going to move on you as soon as they can, probably. That's just how it goes, so you got to protect yours, do what you got to do. And you got Ronnie, you got this dude, and you got Duffy over there that will ride out for you in a split second. And so he's like, yeah, you're already right. You're always right, Maddie. You just wanted to see what your opinion was and see what you thought. And I said, Gary, if you don't want to do it, don't do it, Because I don't want you to do anything you don't want to do, number one. Number two, I don't want to see you go back to the hole, but I just love you and I respect you and I don't want it to look really bad on you. And this is your decision totally. You say, you know, you're right, Maddie. And so he was going to do it no matter what I said. He sends me word like at, you know, right before count tonight, just keep your ears open. You're going to hear it, the freeze up. Boom. So right before count, sure enough, freeze all movements, clear all airwaves and intercoms. We have an emergency. So this fool who came over to my door, like a month before this all happened, right? Talking about and all that other stupid shit. This dude was the first guy to see one of his boys get moved on and run to his cell and close the door and act. And then when everything came out, he said, "Oh, shitting, right? Very convenient time to be shitting, buddy." Right. Then after that, for like the next 2 months, he was losing weight because he was stressed out. He knew people were gonna find out he was hiding, and sure enough, they did, and he got terminated. So, you know, this is what that type of thing gets you. If you're not all the way for your people, you probably shouldn't be with them in the first place, brother. You know, if it's all for show, don't go. You know what I mean? Because it's never going to work out for you. If you think it's going to be easier because you're in a gang, it is not. Let me tell you something. You're going to get more time on your sentence 90% of the time, or you're going to be in segregation for a long time. You're going to be fucking put in positions to do things you wouldn't normally do if you weren't in the gang. And if you're not built like that, bro, if you don't have the heart of a lion, bro, people are going to see that, dude. The first chance that something pops off, they're going to see it. So don't do it. Just be you, bro. No one's going to be mad if you're not a soldier and you don't put in work. But people are going to be mad if you say you're a soldier and you don't put in work. Fact, right? So anyways, right? Shit starts popping off. Duffy runs over the dude on the phone, starts crushing him, hitting him with the phone, smashing him out. Garrett and the other three are fighting these other two dudes in the back of the block. So it's a 4-on-3. And they got slaughtered, bro, right? Now dudes on their side are really mad. They're like, you know, they got 2 losses under the belt. So Garrett goes to the hole, comes out of the hole, and literally comes out of the hole. And 2 days later, who does he see? Another C-dub, like 4 cells down. The C-dub runs over to Garrett, hooks off, and now Garrett's fighting because he has to, but Garrett this other dude runs over, jumps in for Garrett, and they jump this kid out and stomped him the fuck out bad again. And you got some really powerful people coming into the scene. People that are coming up from the county that had been running shit down there for years for these guys, and they weren't liking what they were seeing. But you also had people trying to make peace talks because they could see the benefit that we could have if we did align each other with each other, right? And which I thought that was power. I thought it could have been powerful too. I always thought that if me and my brother could unify our people, we could be the most power. We could be a force that couldn't be reckoned with between anybody, right? So, and it was always on my mind that we should do this, but I just didn't know how to go back. You know, once things got the wheel got turning, it was everybody else wanted it more than I did. You know what I mean? And I always regretted that because I thought maybe my brother might get hurt in the process. But that's the type of thing that happens is you don't look forward like that and see these things happening. So like you're blind to it at the time. It's just rage. I was so mad. My brother became one of these people. I didn't see down the road that it could end up being him hurt by some of my people when I wasn't around or something. But what ended up happening is there was a ceasefire on me or my brother. So their people see me, they wouldn't do anything, and vice versa if they saw him, which I didn't like being a part of that. I wanted them to do something if they saw me because I felt like that was a cop-out, bro. And if I saw one of them, I would have did something too. But it was like, you know, out of respect for Ryan and respect for me, both of our peoples came to that conclusion. And I thought that said a lot about both of our crews. So my boy, he goes to the hole, right? From my unit after something that happens on our unit to do with a kite and somebody that comes over there that's not to do with the C-dub thing. When he comes out of the hole, they put him in the orientation unit. Now he's alone over there. It took a lot of courage for him to come down there because he knew there were so many of them. At this time, there must have been 20 or 30 of these guys over there, right? No lie. And this is when all the serious ones started coming up from the county. There was tons of them. He's getting moved down to this unit. And he knows, bro, like if he doesn't go, it's going to look real bad. So before he even gets there, one of my people come out to the rec deck. He's just really good friend with us, with all of us. Matter of fact, he's been on my channel many times, but he comes out to the rec deck and he's like, Maddie, your boy's coming down, you should throw him a piece because he's gonna need it, bro. Dudes are over here trying to kill this dude. So I'm like, all right, bro. I send over a banger and a kite for him with some Sobo in it and some deuce and shit for him to take back to the hole when this all happens. So he gets down to the block. But before something really crazy happens, a lot of politics going on, and the doors on his side are closed. All the doors in the other wreck are open. So people are coming to this dude's door talking about when the doors crack, you know what time it is, blah, blah, blah. And so he's standing up to the flames. He's like, man, bring it. He's like, I'm ready, bro. Bring it. You had the heavy hitters from their squad, the CW squad, come over to the door and tell him, like, look, bro, we're going to kill you, bro, right? And I think they were trying to back him down more than anything. Jerry had the thing. And they had things too, I'm sure. But you had a go-between, which was really good for something like this. So my boy, who wasn't one of us, but was friends with both sides, per se, he was more friends with us than them, but, he wanted to keep guys united. He wanted to keep the white dudes together in a certain sense. So he goes to them and tells them, look, don't stab him. I'll tell Jerry to put the knife away. Just give him a fair one. He's like, I can't let you jump him. I'm going to have to jump in if you do that because I'm friends with all his, I'm from his area. I can't let you jump him. And so because he didn't want to let him get jumped, and both of these two dudes, bro, had some of the biggest reputations in the max that there ever was or ever will be still to this day, they didn't let him jump him. So they sent their biggest hitter, which is a foul out from our crew, right? He left us for them, which is the biggest disrespect ever, bro, for them to send him. And so that's why they did it. So they send their dude, their biggest guy, their most capable dude to come and hit my boy, right? So they come from, they send him down to do as soon as the doors crack. Jerry had the thing, but he put it at the back of the cell and let's do this, bro. Let's do this. And they fought. And from what I hear, their biggest dude didn't even scrape my guy, bro. My guy held his own the whole time. And even from what I hear, won that fight, which is crazy because my boy's way older than this dude, right? And this dude is young, big, and in shape. And I heard my boy held his own on some real shit. And I'm not even just trying to gas my own people up. I'm saying my boy held his own on some real shit. Bro, that gave me, I didn't know that I could respect my own bro as much as I did until this happened. And I knew he knew all the eyes in the whole camp were on him for this situation. So that's one of the biggest reasons why I respect him for that. Let's just say, dude, there was a lot of tension for a long time, and it started spreading to the counties. And word of this situation got everywhere. So in the county, if you had C-dubs writing BOYO killer, right? And they were trying to start this movement of I felt like they were starting a gang type of thing where they had bandanas and gang signs and something that's not typical for a white crew, or a white gang of some sort, or a brotherhood, which I don't disrespect, you know what I mean? But they were pulling people away from our side. It started a lot of friction. The moves they made leading up to these fights and the things that happened to them, where they never really got their money back on us, but because there was serious dudes on that side and serious dudes on our side who were willing to see that it was no longer beneficial for us to keep on going. Once the thing started happening between the convicts and the cops, and a war between two peoples within would have made it a lot worse for us, because we wouldn't have had to only worry about what was going on with the lockdowns and the cops beating us up, but also seeing those dudes and not being able to come together on certain things that we needed to come together on in order to be a unified movement within the max. But this is a reality about what goes on inside of here, right? You got the tit for tat wars and things that, the atmosphere is just what makes it worse for you, right? Ready to be strapped up, waiting for any one of these dudes to walk into the unit that's an unknown and is not on the record of being one of these gang members, or end up getting sent to one of their blocks. That's really all I have for you today, guys. I understand that there could have been a lot worse that happened in this fight. Waiting in the hallways to catch people. The knives on deck, in the orientation, you were ready to slaughter anybody who comes through at those given times. The fact that it didn't happen is a miracle. But the atmosphere is what makes a war. It's very serious. You can feel the tension. And it could have been a lot worse. The message behind this is that it could have been a lot worse, but also that people make dumb mistakes inside of prison. They lead to very serious consequences. And I hope that everybody can see the light in what I'm saying. There's good people on both sides. We all do need to come together. We do need to unite under a common cause. We can't do that if we are at each other's throats. But be loyal to your friends, bro. Be loyal to your family. And a lot of blessings will come to you for that. Salute, a lot of love. I'm going to have 2 more videos for you this week. And I'm going to be live streaming at least two more times. So we got a big week ahead of us. Let's grind and stay positive, stay focused, and just keep it pushing, bro. Every day is a day for new beginnings. Every day is a day for new possibilities. Show up for me. I'm going to show up for you. I love you guys. W number out.